Nintendo seriously might have just saved Mario Wonder. They announced another Switch 2 edition, and the first half of it was just okay to me. It was like, hey, here's this new mode, but you have to have friends. I don't have those. Okay, I have friends, but it's not too often where we actually get together, and when we do, we normally play, the same games over and over again, like Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, you know the drill. So, like, yeah, this is something that's going to be fun for us to play, but I don't know how long. Maybe like one night, 2 nights, 1 night. But no, I can't lie. Some of this stuff actually looked like a lot of fun. I don't know if it's confirmed that you can play these game modes online, but if you can, that'd be pretty cool. There's like hide and seek, you have to like attack each other, there's like collecting coins. It's almost like Mario Party mini games, but if they had actual substance, and I actually really like this, and I think this could be actually really, really cool. But it was kind of the same thing with Donkey Kong Bonanza, where they added a mode that I wasn't too caring about. I wanted to see actual more content like the base game had, but it looks like we still are getting that in a capacity with Mario Wonder, because they actually listened to me. They actually showed more actual base game content, where they showed Captain Toad and the Toad Brigade making an appearance, and they also showed the Koopalings. Also, I'm recording this on the go. I'm out of town, and I'm realizing I'm shooting out P's and B's, so I'm sounding like I'm blowing up the mic probably for you. But the Koopalings being here is literally such a big deal. I told myself and like all of you guys back when Mario Wonder released a couple of years ago that literally if it had better boss battles, it would be as close to a 10 out of 10. It still wouldn't be 10 out of 10. It'd be like a 9.5 out of 10 if it just had some good quality boss battles. I mean, you have a game full of Wonder events and crazy wacky moments, and this is the best they could come up with 4 times. Yeah, this sucks. Now, obviously, Wonder events do happen during these boss battles. They're just incredibly boring as to what they could be, like transforming Mario or giving Bowser Jr. some super crazy transformation as well. Instead, he just duplicates himself or messes with the terrain, which really doesn't do much. But why the heck do we want the Koopalings? Everyone hates them, right? Or mostly just Morton. I think the biggest reason people were tired of the Koopalings is because they appeared as the only boss battles in 2D Mario games, where back in the day, we used to have at least Reznor. But no, I just think people wanted more unique boss battles, like we got in a New Super Mario Bros. DS with like Petey Piranha, King Goomba. Stuff like that is really what we were looking for. And instead, it's just the Koopalings, and every single time they have some type of magical item like a hammer or a bullet bill launcher, and they don't do much with it. It doesn't feel like they differentiate the Koopalings as much as they should compared to something like Paper Mario Color Splash, where they have full character and completely different movesets. But if Nintendo was just going to do Bowser Jr., it kind of made us all wonder, why didn't they just do the Koopalings again if that's the case? They didn't even have original bosses, they didn't even have the Koopalings, so we wanted them back, and especially with these Wonder effects. So a couple of years ago, I made a handful of videos talking about how the Koopalings could be integrated into Super Mario Bros. Wonder, where each Koopaling could come from each distinct region of the Flower Kingdom, and how the Wonder effect could take what their already given abilities have been in past New Super Mario Bros. Games and enhance them even more. I said Larry could have moving platforms in even wackier ways, since that seems to be his main mechanic, but we already have Bowser Jr. doing that in one of his boss fights. I said Wendy could be in control of some water or ice, very similar to how Bowser Jr. does in one of his boss fights as well. Lemmy can once again use his giant bouncy balls, where I thought it'd be really cool to use the Hoppos in a Wonder event, where he's balancing on a giant Hoppo and bouncing them at Mario, and maybe they can deal damage this time around, or maybe a bunch of bomb bouncy balls like he had in his boss fight in New Super Mario Bros. Iggy could do something with his Chain Chomp in a Wonder event. I don't really know what this would look like. Maybe one giant Chain Chomp that constantly chases you through a stage and you have to get to the end, kind of like the Yoshi's Island days. Roy can once again have his Bill Launcher, but instead, this time maybe the Wonder event allows him to have a Missile Meg Launcher, which are the new bullet bills of Mario Wonder that you can actually jump on and ride on as well, and that has like colorful streams out the back. I think that could look really cool, and he could shoot a bunch of them out. And what could be even cooler is he can shoot out a bunch of different type of bullet bills as well, because there's like 2 other types that appear in this game. Morton always uses his hammer, so maybe he can grow a giant magical one that does different random effects and stuff thanks to the Wonder events. And Ludwig is always all over the place. It's kind of hard to nail down what exactly his main gimmick is. I mean, he likes to duplicate himself also and fly up in the air, and something we've kind of already seen with Bowser Jr. as well in the game, where one of the boss battles he duplicates himself into 2 other copies. But this is the chance for them to actually make some interesting boss battles, and something that I couldn't believe they didn't do is the fact that they didn't utilize any of the transformations, any of the wacky wonder events that we get to play as in the actual main game. It's like for the boss battles, it felt like a completely different game that they allowed us to play, which is very strange to me. So I'm hoping they actually allow us to use some of these transformations and stuff as part of the actual boss battles as well, instead of just for the stages. Of course, Nintendo always messes things up, so is this going to work the way we want it to? Probably not. I mean, I'm already kind of worried because one of the first stages of the game is shown off and it has Wendy transforming into her wonder event in that stage. So I'm hoping this is just something added to the stages that we've already played and not where we actually fight her, because why are we fighting her on this random platform? So I honestly think this DLC is going to be kind of like Kirby and the Forgotten Land, where they actually take existing levels and have remixed versions of them, adding some new content. So I don't think we're going to actually be fighting her per se here, but rather chasing her down as she's doing things to the stage or something, and then maybe at the end of that world we finally then have a fight with her after she's like manipulating all the past stages that we have to chase through again. So maybe it gives us a new reason to go back to the past stages with remixed versions and then finally fighting a unique boss battle at the end of each world now, which I'm not complaining with that. Now, there does seem to be brand new collectibles this time around. It's not just Wonder Seeds anymore. It's actually now Bellabelle flowers. And this background, for instance, looks very unique. We haven't really seen any world that quite looks like this one. The closest it looks like is the snow area, which is Puff Peaks or something along those lines. So yeah, this definitely does not look like the same area. It looks like someplace completely new. So maybe we do get an additional world to this game, or additional levels that aren't just remixed old levels. It's hard to tell. And of course, it once again looks like Captain Toad and the Brigade has some type of appearance in this mode. Captain Toad was like a hidden character in some of the world maps that you can find, but now the whole brigade is here, and also it seems to be working with the Poplins to have their own little brigade. I mean, look at his little headlamp. It's pretty cute. Yeah, honestly, I'm not looking for this DLC to be anything crazy. I mean, we know it's only like $20. It seems like they always are with these Switch 2 editions, so I'm just hoping they utilize some of the things that are in the game. I feel like that's Nintendo's biggest problem now. They have all these cool ideas and mechanics, and they don't utilize them to their full potential. Like Mario Wonder has some insane wonder events with some really cool transformations, but they need to be utilized to their full capacity. If I can roll as a spiked ball through an obstacle course in the main game, let me do that into a boss battle. Let me roll around an obstacle course and finish by running into the boss as a spiked ball. Or fill a boss battle with moving conveyor belts that we have to attach to and then jump off and jump on the boss's head at the last second. There's so many things you can do with this game's mechanics. It could literally be a 10 out of 10 game. It's just Nintendo has to let it. Also, I just made my mock-ups through like a quick editor, but the War Guy on YouTube actually illustrated up some really insane looking designs for the Koopalings and what they could look like with their wonder effects, so please go check out their channel down below. Of course, this would be way too good for Nintendo to do something like this. I mean, after all, they did okay this for the second boss of the game. But yeah, Mario Wonder's Switch 2 edition has some proving to do for me, because so far, really none of them have been that good. Like, Kirby and the Forgotten Land has been great, but yeah, I just feel like its Star Cross World DLC was pretty short, and it ended way too soon. But yeah, let's see what Mario Wonder does. Hopefully it's not just multiplayer focused, but they really actually put a lot of content into single player as well. But I'm just asking Nintendo to please make Morton cool.